Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to my channel, and I've actually got all the wireless access points now installed. We've got one here, which is downstairs in the front. This is the front room, but this is mainly we've been called throughout the project. We've mainly been calling this Office One. So Office One ground floor, and the second one as well is upstairs, top of the landing, and it's right up there. You can see it from here. That's the second one. The third one is what we class in the small office, which is the man cave at the bottom of the garden. So this is actually giving us some really good range, because before, when I live streamed inside the house, in the front room here we've been great. So on the old access points it was okay, but when I start going upstairs, as it's changed from one access point to another, it will dip and then get, and obviously quality loss as well. So on these boxes, much better quality, because don't forget, these are gigabit access points with dual gigabit ports on the back, one for PoE, the other one for another cable to go into it. So you can do lots of like clustering, load balancing with them as well, or give it a good 2 gigabyte internal speed across the boxes, which is really good, handling much more client access or client devices, which is really good. And since it's been installed, because I installed the last one today, so far it's improved massively. All the clients that were originally connected to this box failed over and connected to that box when I rebooted this one. So failover works really well on where it's just literally they disconnect, they reconnect straight upstairs. It's done quite quickly. There's a policy on these sort of boxes. It says the clients connect to the next access point much quicker. So it's got a bit more intelligence into it. They've basically got inside a bit more expensive boxes, but inside they're like a miniature PC just managing wireless routing, which works really extremely well. And actually, you think about it, this wireless access point here has got to penetrate through this main wall here. And if you go through to the kitchen here, I'll explain. You've got a toilet behind this wall here, and another concrete wall before it actually hits the main back downstairs bedroom here. Okay, so out here, as I'm streaming with you guys, quality is still up high. I've got no lag, no drop. And this is another big concrete wall here for the wireless signal to come through. It's absolutely brilliant. And what makes it really good, because the man cave is at the bottom of the garden out there, we've got another access point in there that makes up the difference between the connections. So normally by now, this will be fuzzing out, or I've probably lost my connection by now. So that one goes through quite a lot. So in here, we've got a TV that's running off the Roku box, which is wirelessly works fine. We've got a PC in here connected wirelessly to that as well, works brilliantly. And the great thing about these boxes, because the last boxes I had, which were originally the TP-Link boxes, if you did a speed test across it, you would only get half your bandwidth speed. Because when what a lot of people say is they say don't do a speed test off a wireless device. Always do it off a PC that's physically connected into your router. That's the best way of testing if your speed is correct or not. So with wireless, if you're too far away, you find your connection drops and the bandwidth drops, so you don't always get a full speed test out of it. But with these boxes, you do a speed test using a speed test app on a mobile phone, you get your true bandwidth from your box. So before, I was getting a speed test out of these maximum probably about 30 meg down and probably roughly 5 meg up. But on these ones, I'm getting the full speed as if I'm connected wired to the router. So that's showing like 70 meg down and 19 plus meg up, which is my normal average speed. If I connect straight to the wireless access point, the main router here, do the same thing on a laptop, it'll give me the exact same speeds, which is absolutely awesome. So these are incredible. So what I'm going to do is, the kids are all out at the moment, so there's hardly anybody on this connection, on these boxes. They've got their iPads lying around here, which actually shows up on the access points they're connected, which is quite nice. And I can identify every network device on this network, because you can rename the MAC addresses so you know whose devices are what, so you can see who belongs to what, where they're roaming to. And it's great because when they go upstairs, and you know they've gone upstairs to bed, and take their phone with them, you can see it connecting up there and down, so forth. So you can get so much stats from these little boxes. An absolutely amazing bit of kit. They are, as I said, they are designed as a business solution, because that's how they wanted me to market this to you guys. So it's designed for office environments, hotel environments, the big stuff. But if you're at home and you've got a busy network, you've got lots of kids running around with different devices and all that sort of stuff, these are definitely worth paying the extra for to get it. Because the other thing is, their mum was talking to me about security, wireless issues, things like that. How can we block them being off, or if they've been naughty, how can I restrict them not connecting to the wireless solution on this? The long way round is a lot of these wireless access points will do multiple SSIDs. So in theory, you can give them their own SSID each. But then again, if one kid's been naughty, you don't know whether they're actually going to speak to the system rather than say, can I borrow your SSID and connect to it? So that defeats the object of that. But with these boxes, they've got a lot more policy involved because they're obviously meant to be for business. So you can set up policy. You can put the kids' devices. So for instance, Noah here, he's got an iPad, iPhone, iWatch, and he's got his PC. You can put them all into one policy. So when he's been naughty, you can restrict that policy to like he's only allowed an hour of access per day, and everyone around the house that's not in his policy can carry on working as normal around him. And no matter what device he uses, it's restricted. So you can't actually ask someone else's ID. And that's really great. You can also restrict the ID as well, SSID. So if you've got a guest one, so people that come in and visit the house or come to visit the businesses, you're on a guest, you can restrict how much bandwidth they can use. You can restrict it right way down, so it saves bandwidth the other end. But these boxes are so fast. What I'm thinking is, I do a lot of work for Gravity Force in Camberley, which is not very far from us. They're a very busy trampoline park, and they have free Wi-Fi access there, and it's absolutely pants because they restrict the crap out of it. So I've asked permission because I do a lot of free video work for them. So I've asked them for their permission to install one of these access points at their building, configure it to their free guest network, and then use that to test these boxes. How powerful are they really? Because they get hundreds of people every day going through Gravity Force, and I think that's a way to really extremely test the crap out of it, basically, to see if it can survive a very busy 7-day a week Gravity Force centre, trampoline centre. Because I noticed it's quite restricted as well, but I don't think you need them to be that restricted. To restrict it so they're not on your own business network, so it's completely isolated. And they need wireless isolation on because they don't have it on, so you can see everybody else's devices on the network, which is a security risk. And I don't see why you should restrict bandwidth, because the way I'm doing it is if you've got a phone that's restricted bandwidth and everyone's restricted bandwidth, and they're all trying to get a page down, you're going to hog the wireless connection quite a lot. So if you're connected to it as a guest as well, it'll always be really slow. And I've noticed when I'm there having coffee and my kids are jumping, I get really slow connection. So I've got a feeling these ones, if I don't restrict them, just allow it to have full access, people are able to just literally connect their phone, get what they want, they're off again. Most of the time it's Facebook. So I don't see why you should restrict the connection speed. So I'm going to actually have a word with them. Once they give me the okay, I'm going to speak to them about their policy, reason why they have it restricted in that way, to get an idea why they might be being sold by another company saying, oh, you've got to do that, because it's just where they sold it, because every IT company is different, they'll sell different solutions. So I'll find all that details out, and we'll get one of these access points installed there. It'd be absolutely fantastic to really test it out there, because then you've got all different devices, different type of phones, connections and things like that. And I can sit there with my laptop on the busiest day to sort of look at the way people are streaming. I don't have to be there actually, because this is on the cloud software that I've now configured. I can actually manage it from anywhere, so it'll give me a really good test the software out as well. And yeah, so that's my other goal as well, to do that. It's getting into a really busy environment. This is quite busy in the house here because you've got eight kids here, all playing iPads, iPhones. They're streaming off YouTube. Netflix has been played. At the moment, my daughter's upstairs, still in bed, lazy. She's actually streaming off of Netflix. And then you've got Jay, who's just gone out back to gone to work, but he normally streams off Netflix. He tends to stream Netflix off his phone as well as his TV. So there's two devices going in. The boys are in the bedroom playing gaming, so they're doing gaming stuff. So there's always something going on here. So over the period of time now, because as these boxes connect, they're actually gathering data, so you can actually see not just from the actual AP unit itself how much bandwidth has been used, or how much stuff's been downloaded through the AP unit itself. You can also see that on the devices, how much devices, who's the highest downloads stuff all the time. You can see all those sort of stats, which is really good stuff to know. Then you know who's the most busiest in your household or your business environment, basically, which is really nice. So I'm building some stats up on this. The new one's gone up today, so I'll give it about a week or so to build up some stats. Then we can then look at the log files to see how the roaming works, to see how well it does, especially the kids going downstairs and going back up the stairs. They're always carrying their phones around. Today, when we actually installed one upstairs, I decided once it was connected, all the devices that didn't see the one upstairs, because obviously took the old one offline, all connected to this box here, which is quite good. It all jumped over quite roughly quickly. Then what I decided, once the other one was up, I then rebooted this box, and very quickly all the clients that were originally connected to that did shift straight over to the new box upstairs. So it always looks for the closest one when it connects to, and it did extremely well. So LinkSys, wrong. It's only because I use TP Link a lot. LinkSys is doing a really good job with their new AP units. I'm really chuffed with those. So we're going to do some more testing. And the other thing I was going to actually do as well, I'm going to replace the cabling now, because I know I've done some cable tests. You've noticed on here with between Cat 5 and Cat 7, there is a massive difference between them when you plug them in. Especially if you just you don't have to change your hardware. You just change your cable from Cat 5 to Cat 7 because backwards compatible, and you will notice a slight difference in speed, which is definitely noticeable. So in this household, it's Cat 5, because obviously go out the building and go round. So what we're going to do is we're going to relay all the cables in the house. We're going to supply 2 cables per access point, so we can make use of both of those Ethernet ports on those, get them connecting back to the switch. So we can really really test stuff out. We'll look at the clustering and load balancing, how that works as well, because there's so much. It's easy to manage, it's easy to configure, so it's not difficult. So they haven't made it too complicated, so you can do some different connection scenarios. And we'll get that other one at Gravity Force, get that installed and do some testing with as well. And I'll do some videos of showing the stats and the statistics. We'll go into a bit more detail on that a bit later on as well. So today's video just show that I've got all of them connected up now. They're all running really nicely. And I've got the one back at my flat, which is the remote office, we call it. Office 4.3, I think. Office 1, Office 2, Office 3, Office 3. And that's on the same cloud, which I can remote manage from here or anywhere, basically. And they all run the same wireless SSID, so the kids don't have to mess about. So the wireless ISDs that are here are also at my office. So when they come over their tablets or iPads, they connect just straight away without asking for any extra more detail, much more simpler that way as well. And works well. We're going to try some restrictions on this, because I think one of them too has been a bit naughty on the internet, or naughty not doing their homework. So we're going to we'll set some policies up, put those in play, and we'll see that they do actually work. I'm not going to tell one of the kids when their policies is actually on. We'll see if they notice it, so I can time it once it's been applied, how long it takes for that device to sort of realise it's on the policy, it's gone past the time it should be on, and disconnects. Because I'll get one of the kids phoning him up and say, I can't connect to the internet. And I can tell how quickly that policy changes on these devices. But so far, very, very chuffed with the hardware, chuffed with what the design as well. They look quite nice actually, much nicer up on the wall than the last ones. But yeah, you can tell the weight of them as well. They've got much more tech inside. And they're independently, you can configure them independently, so they don't want to be connected to the cloud. You don't have to. But the cloud is brilliant because you can manage it all, and you can also roll out the new updates and stuff automatically through those as well. I'm going to look at doing a policy on these so they can reboot once every 24 hours, because with any PC or any devices, they're running like constantly all the time. I mean, routers are just like glorified laptops, routing information all day long. They do need switching off time to time, so I would, these access points, I'll reboot them late at night, every night, because that's how I had the last ones doing, and I didn't have any problems with disconnection times. But yeah, so anyway, if you find this useful, please do let me know. If you like this video, thumbs up. Don't like this video, thumbs down. Any questions you've got on these access points themselves, where to buy them, all that sort of stuff, please do leave a comment below. And when I get 5 minutes, I'll put the links to where you can go and buy these from in the videos. It's also on jacksgear.co.uk. They should be already on my website, so you can go and click on those. Have a look around, and I'll be updating a lot more information. And we'll do some more stuff. I've got lots of more stuff coming up as well to do. We're going to look at Ethernet cables, what the difference between Cat 5, Cat 6, Cat 7. We're going to chop the ends off. We're going to look at the cables themselves and strip it right way down to see what the difference is on the twists and what each cable's got different to each one. Because I noticed that the Cat 5e is reasonably thin. Cat 6 gets a little bit thicker. Cat 6e or something like that gets really thick. Then Cat 7 gets thinner. So you got thin, fat, thin. So we're going to chop the ends off, and we're going to find out see what the reasons are inside, what they've done differently. But the speed test between Cat 6 and 7 is not much noticeable, but between 5 and 7, really noticeable. And it's also noticeable between 5 and 6 as well. So it's definitely worth looking at changing the cables to get a bit more speed out of them itself. So rather than spend thousands and thousands of pounds on 10 gigabit Ethernet, just change cables. That will help a bit more for you. But anyway, I better leave you to it. It's Bank Holiday Monday. Let you get back to your normal stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video. So remember, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button here now. See you soon. Cheers.